think we're live, man. Did you guys see my buddy Bruce? My good old buddy Bruce came out of the bathroom. Oh, my goodness. I love you. Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Money in the Bank 2020 official review. There's no reason for you to go anywhere else on YouTube right now when you got the podcast right here on Off the Scripts.
Delete! This is mine.
Guys, thank you so very much for joining me right here on the podcast. This is Off the Script, your Money in the Bank 2020 official review, live right here on YouTube, man. I am legitimately shocked. I really am. You know, I love a good shock every now and then. I really do. Was tonight the shock that I had wanted? Absolutely not. Was tonight the shock that everybody predicted? Absolutely not. Do I have a problem with the shock that we seen tonight? I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Otis winning the Money in the Bank ladder match tonight. Everybody picked Aleister Black or AJ Styles tonight. And I honestly don't have a problem with Otis winning the Money in the Bank tonight. And I will tell you why tonight. I will tell you why tonight, folks. It's not the end of the world. Otis is not going to become the Universal Champion. Otis is not going to successfully cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. This is, according to the rumors, even with the women, I was shocked, legitimately shocked, that Asuka is now the 2020 Women's Money in the Bank briefcase winner. I had no doubt about it. Shayna Baszler winning that match tonight. I thought Asuka was a distant second. Thank Christ it wasn't Nia Jax. And she must have loved that food fight in the hallway of WWE Titan Tower tonight with Paul Heyman. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Asuka was a distant second. Shayna Baszler was the right outcome that entire match, even before the pay-per-view took place tonight. And Shayna Baszler, ladies and gentlemen, I would have to admit to everybody, you know, I'm a big fan of Shayna Baszler. I had high hopes for Shayna Baszler on the main roster. WWE brought her in like the next big thing in the women's division, and she is absolutely dead. Dead, ice cold, buried, sent her back down to NXT level dead. Clearly, Vince McMahon wants nothing to do with Shayna Baszler on the main roster. Nothing. So we'll talk about that as well. In what I thought, for the most part, was a entertaining enough show to give it a thumbs up. Was it a great show? It was not a great show by any stretch. Were there things tonight that I actually enjoyed? Absolutely. I thought the ladder matches, I thought the two men's and women's ladder matches there at the end, I thought were entertaining. I really thought that they were entertaining with WWE's branded humor thrown about in that match. A lot of the men and women in that match showed some personality. For the most part, I enjoyed myself. I laughed. I was at one point taking notes, and then I stopped taking notes for the match because I was so involved with what was going on. And I wanted to see what was coming next. So I wanted to pay very, very close attention. I wanted my full attention on the match, and it really didn't disappoint me. It really didn't. The other thing that I really liked about tonight's show was the pacing of the show. I mean, if every WWE show could end at 9:30, before 9:30, I mean, sign me up. Seriously, this is fantastic. I'll be done with this by 10:30, 10:45, and then goodbye. I'll go have myself a cold beverage, watch the Undertaker Last Ride documentary, and then that's it for me until Monday Night Raw. That's great. Absolutely great. I love the pacing of this show. WWE didn't need to just overwhelm us with this show. Obviously, in the middle of a pandemic, nobody wants to watch empty wrestling in an empty arena, in an empty performance center. And I honestly think WWE kind of got the hint. I would hope so, because I know I would. With that Edge and Randy Orton match at WrestleMania, they realized that nobody wants to sit through boring, trotting, methodical pro wrestling in an empty arena, because that's exactly what it did. It put everybody to sleep. I think WWE really did a good job with the pacing of this show, gave us as little as they could, and really maximized their time tonight. I really thought that was great. Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion, rightfully so, deservedly so. If there is one thing about Seth Rollins in the middle of all of this pandemic and the empty arena stuff, man, Seth Rollins is a great fucking professional wrestler. I said it. I was on Seth Rollins' team at one point in time, and he was just ruined. And I had to bear my soul about this Seth Rollins character. I could not get behind Seth Rollins when he was the WWE Universal Champion on Monday Night Raw. I could not. It was awful. The bad booking, the terrible creative, the fact that they put him inside Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt. Before that, the fact that they tried so hard to make him a sympathetic babyface. He came off like a fucking blithering pussy on Monday Night Raw. Even before that, they feuded him with Baron Corbin for 3 fucking months. Paired him with Becky Lynch, who is his real-life fiancée. It was just a fucking terrible title reign. No matter how good he was in the ring, you could not, absolutely no way, get behind Seth Rollins in any way whatsoever. Never took it away from him. He was always a great professional wrestler. If there's one thing about these empty arena shows that will be one of those big statistics at the end of all it, Seth Rollins is the master of empty arena shows, man. Tonight's match with Drew McIntyre was fucking great. Absolutely great. Goes to show you how good he is. Goes to show you how great Drew McIntyre is and how deserved he is of that WWE Championship run that he's on right now. Just great stuff for both of those guys. Drew McIntyre obviously is going to go on to a nightmare scenario. And Seth Rollins more than likely will move on to who I think he will face at SummerSlam, and that is the one they call Adam Copeland, Edge. That's what I think is going to happen with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. But I thought that was a great match tonight between both of those guys, and we'll break that down. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. I laughed just as hard as I laughed during the ladder match with Paul Heyman sitting in between the food fight and Vince McMahon looking like the fucking Grim Reaper. I laughed so hard on social media when I seen people in the fucking wrestling community that have maybe one brain cell between fucking 3 people. People are just so brainwashed. Like, they watch and they immediately say everything that happens is the best ever, right? I seen legitimately on social media today from people in the wrestling community, people with large sub bases on YouTube, say that the Braun Strowman-Bray Wyatt match was the best Braun Strowman match of his career. Now, I don't know if these people were drunk while tweeting. I don't know if the show was that bad that people opted to drink their misery away. I don't know if they're genuinely this fucking stupid, but that was nowhere near Braun Strowman's best match ever. I think Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins would like to have a word with you. Seriously. People need to shut up and do their research, or don't say anything at all. It's not even an opinion at that point. You're making yourself look like a fucking fool. Seriously. Now, was the match Was the match better than I had anticipated? Yeah, it was. It was. That doesn't mean that it was good. That doesn't mean that I'll go back and watch it. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a great thing for both Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. The match itself was slow. The match itself was, honestly, towards the end of it, could have been shaved down a little bit. That little ending sequence that they had, we'll talk about it. I felt like they could have actually cut that down a little bit. There's no crowd to play off that moment. And what does that moment really mean at the end of all of it? Like I said, Braun Strowman's time in the Wyatt family means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They broke him away from the Wyatt family and put him on SmackDown via the 2016 draft. So what difference does it make if he was in the Wyatt family or not? They're making that the big story. Braun, come on home. He was there for a cup of coffee and a blueberry muffin. That's all he was there for. And like I said on my SmackDown review, this feud and this storyline is, on the outside, an album that you think is decent, but the story itself is nothing more than that album's B-sides. That's all it is. And those songs usually are the worst fucking songs. Those are throwaway songs that they just put on the album for the imported release, from the overseas release. That's all it is. So that's my thought on that. And other than that, the pay-per-view, if I was to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I would have to give it a thumbs in the middle somewhere, trending towards up. I felt like the show was mostly filler. I felt the show was boring for the first hour. And then we started to pick it up with the championship matches, then obviously with the ladder match. But if I was to gauge it on the thumbs up, thumbs down basis and nothing in between, I'd give it a thumbs up just because of what we've seen with Rollins and McIntyre. And then the ladder matches that went 23 and 30 minutes respectively for the men and the women. So we're going to go over everything that happened tonight. I'm going to give you my full breakdown, detailed analysis, and we're going to go over where we go from here on into Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We got almost 2,100 people watching me tonight. And I'm looking at the viewers right now live, and we only have 475 thumbs up. What is wrong with you guys? You got almost 2,100 people live in this chat room, and there's only 476 likes. Before I break down anything, we better get that motherfucker to about 750 likes, and then we should end this thing with about 15 to 2,000 likes. So make sure you guys do that. It costs you absolutely nothing. All you have to do is take the mouse right here on your desk and move it over to the thumbs up. It turns blue. It turns a pretty color. So make sure you guys go and do that for me. I would really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. It helps out the video. It helps out the growth of the channel. It gets it into the recommended section. So I thank you guys so much for that. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Thank you guys for live tweeting with me tonight during the pay-per-view. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that showed up to my live stream earlier this afternoon for the preview and predictions. We got some things right. We got some things wrong. But I don't think anybody out there predicted Otis, big man, working man Otis, to win the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight. So if you guys missed that, go and check it out. Link is down below in the description of this very video for all the stuff that you missed earlier in the week on the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, very important. If you guys want the best in WWE content on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturday, all weekend long, make sure you guys go and subscribe. And we got so many just good comments this week. We got a lot of great feedback on things that I did. So let's keep that going, guys. I really appreciate all the support on the channel. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And the podcast today is brought to you by my good friends over at Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. And that is code JD at checkout. You guys can get a free sample of Blue Chew. All you guys have to do is pay the shipping and handling, and we'll go over my good friends over at Blue Chew in the video later on. So I really appreciate them sponsoring the podcast today. Let's get into the pre-show, man. We had Cesaro and Jeff Hardy on the pre-show. Now, the one thing that I was thinking about while watching the show, and I wonder if you guys thought the same thing. We've seen Jeff Hardy and Cesaro on the pre-show, and then we watched the show, and we seen MVP / Bobby Lashley versus R-Truth which had no business being on this show. That match was actually on the main show, and Jeff Hardy and Cesaro put on one of the best matches of the night. It may have been one of the best matches of the entire week for WWE, and that was on the pre-show. Now, you're probably wondering why Jeff and Cesaro were on the pre-show with that type of match that they put on, and R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley was a squash match that actually made the main Money in the Bank show. It's all because WWE has the pre-show available on Instagram and on Twitter and on YouTube, and it's a way for WWE to get those last-minute people who might not be interested in the show and had no desire to watch this show. If you've seen a match like Jeff Hardy and Cesaro happen, and it was a really competitive match, and it's Jeff Hardy, who's got a big name and a big spotlight on him in WWE, and you got Cesaro in the ring, who could make a fucking Victoria's Secret mannequin look great in the ring, right? You're going to actually go out there and watch the show. You're going to be a little bit more invested in the show if it's that instead of a R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley MVP nothing match on the pre-show. So that's why they did it, if you guys were wondering. But this match was awesome. This match was awesome. This was a great, legitimate first match for Jeff Hardy back. It sucks that Cesaro was so good that he is nothing more than a really, really, really great enhancement talent. That's all he is. That's the role he's kind of, been put in by WWE. And everybody knows this guy deserves more. Everybody knows this guy deserves a legitimate run at the top. Everybody knows this guy deserves a world championship opportunity. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I know Cody Rhodes was out there. He actually said that Claudio is one of the most underrated talents in the history of this business. And if Cesaro is a free agent anytime soon, it would be very interesting to see if Cody Rhodes and AEW actually make a play for Cesaro and give him a legit opportunity before he actually hangs it up. Because he's certainly not going to get that in the WWE. Who they're going to give that to and who they are building that around now is Jeff Hardy. And you all know they're doing it for that AEW effect. Matt Hardy left the WWE. Jeff Hardy is now their number one Hardy. He's always been their number one Hardy, but WWE legitimately thinks that they have the number one Hardy right now in Jeff, and they want to give him the biggest push that they could possibly can, not only because Matt left for AEW, but because this is Jeff Hardy's last year in the WWE, and they do not like it's going to make any difference, they do not want him to go to All Elite Wrestling. He's got one more year. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if WWE is going to give Jeff Hardy a big run at the title, have him win the title on SmackDown, and be the face of that brand, only for him to leave the company after all is said and done, after his contract is over. I would find that to be incredibly hilarious. You can't keep people from doing what they want because of title reigns and money and contracts, because nothing is guaranteed in the WWE. They'll give you something, and then just like that, they'll turn their back on you. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they treat Jeff Hardy. But this match was great, and it got Jeff Hardy on the right path on SmackDown. Cesaro had an early advantage with a side headlock. Hardy fought back, hit a power slam. Hardy jumped off the steel steps, but Cesaro caught him and dropped him onto the barricade. Cesaro was firmly in control, hit an elbow drop off the second rope. He slowed the pace down a little bit because of Jeff Hardy's speed and athleticism, still at 40 years old. Hardy fought back, sent Cesaro to the floor. Cesaro recovered and whipped Hardy into the apron onto the floor. He followed with a leg drop off the second rope for a near fall. Cesaro applied an abdominal stretch. Hardy countered out of the abdominal stretch with a hip toss. Cesaro regained control, but Hardy hit a jawbreaker to take over. Hardy then picked up the pace a little bit more, scored a near fall. He climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Cesaro cut him off. They fought off to the top rope, but Hardy pushed Cesaro off. Hardy followed with a whisper in the wind and landed right on Cesaro's knee, and Cesaro started to sell the knee late in the match. Cesaro then rocked Hardy with a series of European uppercuts. He fought back and hit a twist of fate for a near fall. Hardy climbed to the top rope, but Cesaro cut him off with another European uppercut. Cesaro then hit a gut-wrench suplex off the top rope. They fought around ringside. Hardy Irish whipped Cesaro's knee into the steel steps. Hardy then followed up with a crossbody off the barricade, pulling off his younger version of Jeff Hardy here. Back in the ring, Hardy goes up top for the Swanton and hits it for the win. And Jeff Hardy wins a great pre-show match with Cesaro at Money in the Bank. I don't know where they're going from here. Obviously, we got Sheamus. Clearly, Jeff Hardy and Sheamus is the next in line, the next program for Jeff Hardy. I mentioned this on SmackDown, and I mentioned this the last couple of weeks on Off the Script. Really doesn't make sense for Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. They should be built up separately because WWE's been really making a big deal about Sheamus. And the fact that they're putting him in the ring with Jeff Hardy kind of eliminates what they have already done with Sheamus, because if Jeff Hardy is your priority, where does Sheamus fall? Why does Sheamus need to take a loss when he himself needs his own momentum? Now, I don't know what WWE's logic is. It's usually stupidity. But they might be thinking that Sheamus could take a loss and nothing's going to happen to him. People are going to look at him like a legit brawler and a legit badass, no matter if he loses to Jeff Hardy or not. But I don't like that. I don't like that. You got to share the wealth. You can't have one winner and one loser. And after what you had with Sheamus and built him up, you got to make him look like a winner too. Because it's going to devalue and pretty much cancel out everything you've done with Sheamus up until this point. And Jeff Hardy, does he deserve a run at the top? Is it genuine? Does WWE really want to push Jeff Hardy? They might have no choice. They might have no choice. He's the only other babyface on that brand for when Bray Wyatt wins that Universal Championship, because you know it's going to happen. Who's Bray Wyatt going to feud with for the Universal Championship on the babyface side of things? Otis? It's not going to be Otis. Who else is there? Daniel Bryan is another one, but Daniel Bryan's not going to be back in the title picture. The only one left is Jeff Hardy. That is the only one. So is it genuine? They might not have a choice. WWE might not have a choice with Jeff Hardy at this point. That's why they're really catapulting him, because they need somebody by the time they get to the end of the summer and SummerSlam. This was a great match. Cesaro is so good. People don't realize how good he is. Hardy looked great in his first match back. I'm happy that he's healthy. I'm happy that he's still able to move like Jeff Hardy. So we got big things coming for Jeff Hardy. Where they go with him and how fast they do it remains to be seen. We'll figure that out. 2,050 viewers, thank you for the 1K likes. Let's get that up. Keep hitting that thumbs up, and thank you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate it. We'll read them through the show. I want to shout out, so far, we got Victoria, who was on the live stream earlier. Thank you, Victoria. Gregory, Darius, T-Dog. You're the real big dog, bro. The Brash, 15, and Daniel Easter Day so far. Thank you guys very much for all the super chats. Moving on here, man. The main show. We got a fatal four-way SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the New Day, the Lucha House Party, John Morrison and The Miz, and the Forgotten Sons with Jackson Ryker. Now, I wasn't really interested in this match at all entering. I did not really invest myself in this match tonight. It was 12 minutes, just about 12 minutes. It was fast. It was hectic. It was fun for what it was. But at the end of the day, folks, you know, no matter how good the New Day are, and when they're serious and when they're on, they're great. No matter how good John Morrison can be, I think The Miz still sucks. I don't like The Miz's in-ring style whatsoever. John Morrison has been really good, even though, you know, Johnny Drip Drip is not really what I envisioned when John Morrison came back to the WWE. I'm all for good humor, but that is just cringe. The Lucha House Party, you know, it's a shame that I have to come on here and call them the Loser House Party. I don't want to do that. I make mention of the Lucha House Party and I dub in Loser House Party because that's exactly what they've been portrayed as on SmackDown. Losers. They've done nothing. They've done nothing to earn a title shot. They've done nothing to warrant being in this match whatsoever. And yet here they are. And if you really want me to boil it down for you, the Lucha House Party, you know, where Kalisto is, I don't know. But the Lucha House Party are very good in the ring. Grandma Talik has gotten a lot better. Lince Dorado has always been good. I love Lince Dorado going back to the Cruiserweight Classic, the first ever Cruiserweight Classic. They have been good. It's a shame that WWE has not gotten behind the Lucha House Party and really made them a credible tag team. Can you imagine if the WWE actually got behind the Lucha House Party and had teams in that division for them to actually get some wins over? I would be sitting here telling you the Lucha House Party deserved the fucking tag team championships. That's not the case, though. Then you got the Forgotten Sons. Has WWE really made you care so far in 3-4 weeks about the Forgotten Sons? No. Where are the video packages? Where's the hype? Where's the backstory on these guys? Why am I caring about these guys? There's 2 of them in the Forgotten Sons that are actually ex-Marines. You'd think you would know that. Half of you probably don't even know that. So where is the video packages? Where's the care? Where's the development of the talent on the main roster? Forgotten. That's what happens. They don't give a shit. They don't. So at the end of the day, no matter how fun the match was or if you thought the match was good, what it boils down to at the end of all of this is the tag team titles and the tag team division are exactly what Dash and Dawson of the Revival say it is. It is fucking garbage. Nothing means anything on these shows. The tag team titles are worthless. The tag team divisions are worthless. So what is the point? No matter who won this match, the titles will always be looked at as worthless. And the reason why they are worthless is because you go around in such a small circle. The New Day, they beat everybody in this match tonight to retain the tag team titles. Great. Now you got the Forgotten Sons next in line because they didn't really get pinned by the New Day. They're still there. They got a pinfall victory over the New Day on SmackDown. But at the end of it all, how can you say that there's legit competition in this division when there's only 4 teams? How could you look at a team and think that team is ready? How could you look at the Lucha House Party and say they deserve a tag team championship? Why do I need to look at the Forgotten Sons and say, oh, well, they beat the tag team champions in their second week on SmackDown. They deserve a tag team title shot. It doesn't work like that. Nor should it work like that. I mentioned this on the preview predictions. Look at AEW's tag team division. Seriously. Now, I'm going to use the Jurassic Express as an example. I'm going to use Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus as an example. Look at how many teams are in that division. If the Jurassic Express beat Private Party, if they beat the Lucha Brothers, if they beat SCU, if they beat the Blade and the Butcher, if they beat... Who else is there? The Young Bucks, right? If they beat the Dark Order. And we see this over and over and over again, and they move up the ranks. It's easy to pinpoint, A, they deserve a title shot because they're running through the entire division. You got a fucking division for them to go through, and the momentum is going to be on their side. People are going to get it in their heads like, shit, these guys are ready. These guys are ready. We've seen a lot of them. They've beaten all these top-tier teams. Now they're ready for Kenny and Adam Hangman Page for the tag team championships. If I describe that to you, it makes sense. Can you describe that to me in the tag team divisions on SmackDown and on Raw? This is why I have stated for years, merge the divisions. Seriously, if the Forgotten Sons want to be looked at, or the Lucha House Party want to be looked at as tag team champions, have them beat a Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Have them beat a Viking Raiders. Have them beat teams over and over and over again. Every week, every other week. Have them go on a string of wins. Get that momentum so at the end we can say, you know what, this team has been dominating. They deserve it. They look like number 1 contenders for the tag team championships. Teams are getting title shots for no reason. Teams are getting title shots because there is nobody else to give title shots to. You cannot have a division with 4 teams. It is not a division at that point. The Monday Night Raw Tag Team division is not a fucking division at 3 teams. I'm sorry. So, at the end of all of this, what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter what happened here, it is irrelevant. No matter what happened here, it is unimportant. The New Day win. The New Day retain the tag team titles. Where do they go from here? Who cares? The titles and the division are absolutely bottom of the barrel unimportant. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The match was fast-paced, lots of action, and that was pretty much it. And I want to say this match would have meant a little bit more if we didn't see it on Friday SmackDown in a 8-man tag team variant. That's all I will say here. So whatever we seen here, we seen some of that on Friday, and WWE has this thing. They got this notion that they need to put the teams or individuals that are going to be in a certain match on Friday before the show, instead of saving it for the fucking show. I hate that. I legitimately fucking hate that. So we got Kofi Kingston, Gran Metalik. They started the match back and forth. Metalik hit a Hurricane Rana. Kingston fought back. Steve Cutler made a blind tag into the match. Metalik fought back, hit a double springboard back elbow off the second rope onto the Forgotten Sons. Excellent spot. Metalik attempted to dive, but Morrison cut him off. Metalik hit a Spanish fly on Morrison off the top to the floor and took out everybody else in this match. Forgotten Sons took over. They isolated Metalik in their corner. Lince Dorado got the tag in. He ran wild. Dorado hit a standing dropkick on The Miz, which turned into a standing moonsault on Morrison for a near fall. New Day hit a double foot stomp Doomsday device for a near fall, which was very nice. Miz tagged in, hit a skull-crushing finale for a very close near fall. I actually thought that was it for Miz and Morrison there. I thought they were going to regain the tag team championships. All four teams started brawling. Dorado hit a springboard stunner on Morrison for a near fall. Dorado hit a splash on Big E. And Metalik hit an elbow for a close near fall. But the Forgotten Sons came in and make the save. Big E launched Kingston over the top, assisting him in a dive onto the Forgotten Sons at ringside. In a spot that did not make any sense to me because there are no rules in this match. And I think WWE just makes the rules up as they go. Jackson Ryker interfered and tried to help out his brothers in this match. So when he tried to interfere and help his brothers, the referee kicked him away from the ringside area. He sent him to the back. Now, why would that be? Now, even Michael Cole and Corey Graves commented on this, and they agreed that this was a no DQ match. How does that make any sense whatsoever? So WWE making up the rules as they go, and Jackson Ryker is kicked out of the ringside area. Dorado and Metalik hit a springboard crossbody, or simultaneous springboard crossbody blocks to the floor onto the Forgotten Sons. Metalik hit a springboard crossbody into the ring, but Big E caught him. Kofi Kingston hit a Trouble in Paradise on Dorado. Big E then hit the big ending on Gran Metalik for the win, and they, the New Day, retain the tag team championships. I'm sorry, guys. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, this will be all forgotten, and you'll realize how right I am about the tag team champions being absolutely irrelevant on SmackDown and on Raw. I really, really, really wish, and a lot of people ask me, JD, if you were in charge of WWE, what is one of the one things that you would do to help enhance both Raw and SmackDown? I'm telling you, one of the things that I would do is I would merge the women's and tag team divisions on Raw and SmackDown, and I would make the brand split a little bit less restrictive. That's exactly what I would do. I would move the tag team divisions across all shows, and I would have them appear on Raw and on SmackDown. Same thing with the women. That's exactly what I would do to help enhance these shows, at least for the time being. Because I fucking hate looking at the tag team division in its current state. It's been like that for far too long, and we need to start appreciating tag team wrestling on the main roster. If AEW can have 9 or 10 teams across Dynamite, then WWE has no fucking excuses. Moving on. R-Truth versus MVP. This was actually on the main show. I don't know why. I don't know why we had to sit through this, but it got changed midway through. R-Truth came out, sang an extended version of his What's Up theme song, and he was holding the microphone up in the air as if there were crowds a crowd inside the Performance Center. So I found that to be hilarious, and that's just so R-Truth. You look at anybody else do what they do, and they're pandering to the crowd, right? They're holding up the title in front of nobody. You look at them and think that they're a fucking idiot. If R-Truth is singing, "What's up?" and he's holding the microphone up in the air, I laugh because that's R-Truth. I could see R-Truth doing that no matter what. So that's exactly what he was doing. MVP came out to his music. MVP complained that Truth was trying to teach him how to ball. So as they were about to wrestle, Bobby Lashley comes out, and this was all a part of MVP's, I guess, plan Something has to happen between MVP and Bobby Lashley. I don't know why Bobby Lashley wants this on a Money in the Bank, but the interaction between R-Truth and MVP was actually very entertaining. R-Truth was showing MVP how to be a baller. He was hitting a 2-pointer and then a 3-pointer, and then he took 6 steps back and said, "Have you ever hit a 6-pointer?" And then he said, "Ballin'." I wish I could work on my fucking shot, man. I got to get back into the swing of things playing basketball, you know? Can't do it when we're in a fucking lockdown. But I thought that was entertaining. It really made up for the shit segment that we were about to see. So MVP is in the ring with Bobby Lashley, and Lashley told MVP to take the night off. And then MVP said, "That's what's up." That's what's up, R-Truth. So Truth was complaining. He tried to leave. He's like, "Well, how come he gets the night off?" I started laughing. This was funny. Why is he getting the night off? So he extended his arms, and he was asking why MVP gets the night off. He accidentally, but not accidentally, slapped Bobby Lashley in the face. And Lashley went after Truth at the start of the match, and this match ended in 2 minutes, ended with a spear. Truth came back with a attempted scissor kick to Bobby Lashley, and Lashley avoided that and landed a spear for the win, and that was it. You're wondering why Bobby Lashley was in this match? I honestly do think, and this is genuine, I honestly do think that WWE kind of felt bad for what they did to Bobby Lashley. They had him in that gauntlet match on Monday. He didn't make the Money in the Bank ladder match. He beat Titus. He beat Shelton. He beat, who else did he beat? Akira Tozawa, right? And he squashed all 3 of those guys to lose to Humberto Carrillo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Humberto Carrillo. L for loser. I love it. Dead. He lost to a dead act on Monday Night Raw. So I feel like WWE said, you know what? Looking back at that, we kind of treated him like garbage on Monday night. He destroyed all these fucking poor saps, these geeks, on Monday night, only to lose to Humberto Carrillo. So they gave him R-Truth as a way to say, you know what, guy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So he squashed R-Truth, and that was it. That was it. Was it necessary? No. Do you care? No. But I feel like this was a makeup for Bobby Lashley to get a win after being dominant and then being treated like a piece of garbage on Monday Night Raw. We got these terrible pre-taped promos by Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin, King Corbin, during this pay-per-view tonight. Selfie promos filmed from their phones, their iPhones or their Androids, you know, their iPhones or their Charlottes, you know, filming their own promos. Grainy, it was lackluster, the lighting was off, right? Baron Corbin was clearly in his home, and Lacey Evans was clearly at her home applying lipstick, as if that's going to make you look any better, right? But I honestly don't understand why these were filmed at their home when we all know that they're going to be in Stamford, Connecticut, quote unquote, for the Money in the Bank ladder matches. I don't know why those promos weren't filmed. You know how cool it would have been if Baron Corbin or Lacey Evans or Shayna was interviewed in like one of the conference rooms, just personal, sitting down, right, with the WWE Headquarters in the background. That would have made it a lot better. Having these phone interviews or these phone promos on the show tonight really didn't enhance the overall ladder match whatsoever. So that's just the way I think about it. But I didn't like them pre-taped. They were grainy. They looked awful, and it really didn't make any sense. Who's texting me? Bro, I'm live. Sal Rex is texting me. I'm live over here. He's sending me clip. What is he sending me on Twitter? I don't know. I'll update you on the thumb when I get home. There you go, bro. Hardest working graphics designer in the business is Sal Rex. Anyway, man, Kayla Braxton interviewed Bayley and Sasha as they were about to enter onto the stage. Sasha, man, oh man, the red outfit by Sasha. How many of you guys, if you guys enjoyed Sasha in the red leather outfit, give me a thumbs up emoji in the chat. I'm sure this entire thing is going to be filled with thumbs up in the chats. Kayla Braxton interviewed Bayley and Sasha Banks as they were about to enter onto the stage. And Sasha rolled her eyes and Bayley tried to blow her off. Kayla said Sasha's unsuccessful attempt to neutralize Lacey led to Tamina Snuka pinning Bayley. She asked Sasha if Bayley blamed her. Before Sasha could talk, Bayley lashed out and says she could see what she's trying to do. So she said that she's the most dominant women's champion and doesn't blame anyone. Sasha stood by and listened. Cole said it would have been nice if Bayley let Sasha talk. Unfortunately for Cole's point, to whatever point he was trying to make, Bayley walked away and left Sasha alone with Kayla, and Sasha chose to say nothing. She chose to say nothing. Sasha's body language was the story, and that was it. Like I said on the preview predictions earlier, Sasha and her body language is what you need and all you need to build towards a Sasha and Bayley match for the SmackDown title. She did not need to be in the Money in the Bank, and she did not need to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. So they're definitely building some tension. They're building it slow. It's taking its time, and I appreciate the time and effort that they're putting into Bayley and Sasha, and I'm glad, looking back at it, that we didn't get it at WrestleMania. So we go on from that to Bayley and Tamina for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I wanted to pay attention to this, but I just could not. I paid more attention to Sasha Banks than anything in this match, and clearly you guys felt the same way as I see all the thumbs up in the chat. So this was a very, very basic, very simple match. All this match did, and this match only existed to build towards Sasha and Bayley. It was the in-between before we fully get on to the next gear of Sasha and Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley taunted Tamina, pushed her around. Tamina had enough and then quickly took control of the match. Bayley locked on a sleeper hold, but Tamina rammed Bayley into the turnbuckle. Tamina was firmly in control. Bayley took over and went after Tamina's knee. Bayley slammed Tamina's knee into the ring post. I laughed out loud with Bayley and Sasha just being little bitchy schoolgirls during this match. When they made the in-ring introductions for the match before the match started, Tamina Snuka was announced and Sasha was on the outside booing her, which I found to be hilarious, and Bayley was also booing. And then when Greg Hamilton made Bayley's entrance and announced her as the SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha was cheering on the outside, which was great. So Bayley went after Tamina's knee. She followed up by drop-kicking the knee against the ring post, which looked great. Tamina recovered, hit a big splash in the corner. Tamina attempted a super kick, which she did not reach Bayley's face, but I don't think it intended to. But Bayley actually caught the super kick, mid-super kick, and countered that into a knee bar. Tamina fought to the ropes. They broke the hold. The referee broke the hold. Bayley attempted a Samoan drop, but she couldn't hold Tamina up. You know why, clearly. And Tamina fell on her. Bayley recovered and asked for a bottle of water off of Michael Cole's desk. It's the least you could do, Michael Cole. She's the champion. Give her a fucking bottle of water. So she drank a bottle of water or took a couple of sips, and then she threw the water in Tamina's face. Now, obviously, Tamina did not like this at all. Tamina snapped, regained control. She threw Bayley into the ropes and hit a clothesline to the floor. Something that actually looked good coming from Tamina. She threw Bayley from the outside into the ropes, onto the apron. Bayley bounced back and she hit a clothesline. It looked really nice. So Tamina caught Bayley with a super kick, knocking her off the apron. Tamina then threw Bayley over the announce table. Tamina then attempted the splash, the big splash that she fucked up on SmackDown. And Bayley got her feet up. Tamina caught Bayley's leg and lifted her. Tamina then hit a super kick and tried the Samoan drop. Sasha Banks then tried to distract Tamina. She got into the ring and then she slid out of the ring. She let the hold go, did Tamina. Tamina then, like an idiot, like a stupid babyface, we had Tamina chase Banks, and Tamina picked up Bayley again in the Samoan drop. Bayley reversed it into a crucifix, which Tamina almost fucking botched. I could not tell. I would have been not shocked if Tamina's shoulders were not on the mat. She almost botched the pinfall, but that was enough. The crucifix was enough for Bayley to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. After the match, Tamina attempted the Samoan drop again. She And it looks like she realized the match wasn't even over. But Banks made the save, and Banks beat down Tamina after the match was over. And that was it. Graves laughed and said Cole looked scared at the end of the match because they went over to the announce desk and Sasha was getting all ghetto on Michael Cole, and rightfully so. This was just there. It's going to be forgotten tomorrow when you guys wake up and you go for your morning jogs or you go for your morning bike ride or you're catching the review here on the podcast and you might not have watched the show tonight, and all I can say is you're not going to go back and watch what I said here because I'm more than enough. This match didn't need to exist. It was better off the SmackDown title off of the show. I didn't care what these women did. Just give me Sasha, give me Bayley, and get Tamina off the fucking show. Where do they go with Tamina now? Does she get another fucking match or another feud on SmackDown, God forbid? What do they do with Tamina now? Tamina was only here to get this feud and the tension over between Bayley and Sasha Banks. That's it. That's it. Goodbye, Tamina. You did your job. Now you could go back to fucking catering and be plastered on the wall next to fucking Titus wearing a chef hat. Moving on. We got, coincidentally enough, a PSA with Titus O'Neil talking about hungry kids. It's in the notes. Everywhere I look, Titus is food related. People sending me fucking Instagram DMs with Titus. Making lobster, making fucking crab cakes from Jimmy's Seafood. You guys think it's a joke? Everywhere I look, Titus has got food. I mean, he catered the Money in the Bank ladder match tonight, and it looked great. I guess he's now labeled an essential business. I don't know. Promo aired with the Messiah, the fake Messiah, the bogus Messiah, because I am the Messiah. I am the Messiah. If you don't believe me, I got a t-shirt. Got a t-shirt where you guys can actually go out there and get this beautiful design t-shirt. The YWC Messiah on bonfire.com. Go and get yours today. Haven't been pushing it, but it's there. It's there. Seth Rollins, who talked about facing Drew McIntyre for the WWE title, said Drew knows who he is and knows what he's capable of. He said deep down in his heart, Drew understands it is his destiny to defeat him tonight to become the WWE champion. It is my destiny to shit on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Fox every week until things become right, because I am the Messiah. He said in spite of Drew and all that he knows, he understands. He still is willing to step into the fire with him. I admire that courage so much, says Rollins. He promised to do Drew the favor of his life tonight and unburden him of the pressure of being champion. I wish WWE would unburden us and remove Bruce from SmackDown. This is not his industry, not his company, not his show to lead into the future. That duty is mine. It is my cross to bear. He said they need him to be champion, and he needs to be the Monday Night Messiah. Well, Seth, nobody needs you to be anything. Becky Lynch needs you to be home to take care of the dogs, and we need Monday to actually be a night of fun 3-hour wrestling. Seriously. That's what we need. We don't need anything from you. You could be a part of it. I'm not saying you can't be a part of it, but Jesus Christ, we don't need you anywhere near the WWE Championship. So, we go from that to what I was not looking forward to, and that was the Universal Championship match between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Now, this has been built up because Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman have a history between them in the Wyatt family, and I am not really interested in the story whatsoever. And leading up to this, we got the story of the Black Sheep, and we got Bray playing minimal mind games with Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman not being afraid yet of Bray Wyatt. The Black Sheep was read to Braun Strowman on SmackDown. The only Black Sheep that I know is Chris Farley and David Spade. The movie Black Sheep, which I highly recommend. That and Tommy Boy. And I am not interested in anything that they have going on between these two. I'm not. I mean, I repeat myself every single time I talk about this. It is not that interesting to watch two guys, Bray Wyatt, who we all love, who we know has one foot in the grave, And Braun Strowman, first of all, he's not even deserved of the Universal Championship. We still got no explanation as to why he is the Universal Champion, why he was even in the match with Goldberg. They just put him in there at WrestleMania. Now he's in a match with Bray Wyatt. And the only reason why he's in a match with Bray Wyatt, folks, I don't know if you understand this, is because there is legitimately no one else on SmackDown to book him in a title match with. So WWE, out of sheer desperation, is giving us this match. And the one thing that they have to make this story somewhat interesting is the fact that both of them were in the Wyatt family. And if this was a Luke Harper, if this was even an Eric Rowan, I would be even more intrigued because those guys had more to do with the Wyatt family than Braun Strowman combined. Now, I don't really know why Braun Strowman and his days in the Wyatt family are being, really focused on. I get it for the story's sake, but I mean, you're really digging down deep to find anything for people to care there. Yeah, he's the black sheep. He's the black sheep of the Wyatt family. The only thing I remember about Braun Strowman and the Wyatt family was this terrible main event match on Monday Night Raw all those years ago against Dean Ambrose. That's all I remember. It was terrible. I'm like, this guy is going to be a fucking failure. This is the guy that they're putting their hope and faith in, Braun Strowman. And I'm still saying the same thing now because he fucking sucks. He's just as terrible. He's just as terrible. All this feud is nothing more than a B-side. It's the B-side songs to an album that you enjoyed. The Wyatt family is an album that you enjoyed, and this is the B-side of all of those Wyatt family tales. That's all it is. It is not that important. It really is not that important. The one thing I was scared about is the simple fact that the clashing of styles is going to be vastly different. Braun Strowman sucks. Bray Wyatt, the last time we seen Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt in a match was against The Miz. I believe it was at the Survivor Series, if I'm not mistaken. I think, right? I could be wrong. Whatever. Towards the end of the year last year. It was terrible. It was really terrible. Now, I'm not interested in anything Braun Strowman does, but Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt and the clashing of styles is not really something that I'm excited about. I'm having more fear than anything. Now, while this match was going on, I was not really displeased. I was like, okay, this isn't as bad as I expected it to be. I expected a lot worse. I really did. The intensity was there. It was a little slow, and then it picked up, and then it went back to slow again. And Braun Strowman ended up retaining the Universal Championship, and he defeated Bray Wyatt clean in the middle of the ring for the Universal Championship. So Wyatt did not come out as the Fiend. He came out as normal, Mr. Rogers, human Bray Wyatt. Strowman had the early advantage, tossed Wyatt around. They were playing up the fact that Braun Strowman is big, Braun Strowman is fast, Braun Strowman is strong. Wyatt laughed and noted that Braun Strowman was a strong guy. Wyatt took over. Strowman quickly regained control. Strowman then tossed Wyatt into the ring post onto the floor. Strowman then threw him back into the ring, hit a big splash in the corner. Wyatt rolled back to the floor. Strowman ran around ringside. Wyatt moved, and Strowman ran into the announce table. So then we see Huskus the Pig. He's in the crowd. He's the only fucking thing in the crowd. WWE won't put actual performers or rookies or human beings in the crowd to give these shows life when I know that they are able to do so, but they'll have fucking Huskus the Pig on strings in the crowd. So Huskus the Pig is in the crowd, and he's cheering on Bray Wyatt. Let's go, Bray. Let's go, Bray, with chocolate seeping down his lips. Wyatt hit a DDT on Strowman on the floor and used a clothesline in the ring for a very close near fall. Wyatt hit a tornado DDT and a Sister Abigail for another close near fall. Wyatt went for Sister Abigail again, but Braun Strowman countered with a chokeslam on Wyatt. Strowman hit another splash in the corner. You can see the variety in Braun Strowman's arsenal here, folks. Big splash, running, big splash, chokeslam. Pretty much the extent of it. Strowman did a splash in the corner. He ran around ringside and knocked Wyatt into the barricade. He did his woo! Because the Strowman Express is running wild in Florida. So we got Strowman knocking Wyatt into the barricade. Wyatt recovered and knocked Strowman off the apron. Suddenly, Strowman stood up. He was on the outside. Wyatt was in the ring. So he stood up, and underneath the ring, he pulled out his black sheep mask. He was wearing his black sheep mask. Wyatt was on his hands and knees, and he was thrilled and kept saying, I told you. I told him. I told him. Him meaning the Fiend. Strowman and Wyatt laughed. Strowman was doing this, tilting his head in all this creepy way. Wyatt was laughing. Wyatt looked like he was crying and then laughing that Braun Strowman is home. They hugged and embraced. The puppets appeared at ringside and celebrated with Strowman. Strowman, they all thought, was coming home. Strowman pushed Wyatt and threw the mask on the floor, on the wrestling mat. He stomped on the black sheep mask. Bray Wyatt was obviously upset at this. Strowman scooped up Wyatt, hit a power slam, which looked pretty good. Probably the best power slam he's hit in months. Hit him with the power slam and wins 1, 2, 3. And beats him and retains the Universal Championship. After the match, Strowman leaves with the title. Wyatt is in the ring. He's got this depressed face on. He's got this face in which, he feels like a loser. And he's all sad. And we see Bray Wyatt in clips of The Fiend going in and out, while the camera is still on Bray Wyatt, which obviously is signaling that the feud is not over and we will get something more between Strowman and Wyatt on SmackDown. Now, everybody is wondering why Bray Wyatt lost this. I am not wondering much of anything. Why would you want... Well, listen, I understand that everybody wants Bray Wyatt to win the championship, but I'm here to tell you that WWE, folks, has nothing else besides this feud going on right now for the Universal Championship. Jeff Hardy's too early. Sheamus is not ready. Otis, even though he won the Money in the Bank tonight, which we'll talk about in a little bit, he's not going to factor into the Universal Championship at all. Who else is there? Daniel Bryan? There's nobody else on this show. Drew Gulak? Who else is there? WWE has no choice but to continue this feud with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. So get it through your head. Yes, I understand. We all want Bray Wyatt with the Universal Championship back. I still don't understand what the fucking point is. I mean, the damage is done. He's got one foot in the fucking grave anyway. You might as well have buried him with fucking AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That's how fucking far deep Bray Wyatt is. I get it. Even when, because it's going to be when. It's not a matter of if. When he wins the Universal Championship. What is it going to mean for Bray Wyatt? What is it going to mean? It means that WWE has no other choice but to put the title on Bray Wyatt. It's not because they want to. They have no choice but to. Because Braun Strowman on SmackDown as the Universal Championship, that shit will die 1,000 deaths. Now, people think that it's going to rehabilitate Bray Wyatt or he's going to have the title back. They're going to correct the mistake that they did in Saudi Arabia with Goldberg. Every move that they make enhances that mistake more so every single time. So no matter what they do, nobody's ever going to forget that. He should have never lost the Universal Championship. Never. Now here we are. He beat Bray Wyatt. So what? He beat human Bray Wyatt. He beat Bray Wyatt without all the superpowers. He beat Bray Wyatt without the creepy mask. He beat Bray Wyatt without the lantern. He beat Bray Wyatt without the lights and the smoke and the darkness and the creepy music. So what? So what? He beat Bray Wyatt, whose theme music is a fucking child song to the Firefly Funhouse. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? This is WWE's way of saying, you know what? Bray Wyatt, human Bray Wyatt, lost. Braun Strowman is a guy that I look at that's not really going to back down from anything. If he wants a fucking fight, right, he's going to take the fight. Or if someone challenges him, he's going to take the fight. Because that's not in Braun Strowman's DNA to back away from a fight. Otherwise, I'll label him a fucking pussy like I do Seth Rollins. So we're going to get The Fiend to be disappointed in Bray Wyatt. And The Fiend is going to come out and do the job that Bray Wyatt, human Bray Wyatt, could not do. And that's going to happen at Backlash, aptly named Backlash. Braun Strowman and the Backlash for beating Bray Wyatt at Money in the Bank is going to be a match with The Fiend. And the Backlash is going to be so severe that Braun Strowman will not be able to overcome The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So for everybody that's worried about Bray Wyatt, oh, he's buried, he lost, WWE should give up on Bray Wyatt, yada, yada, yada. I partially agree with you. The mistakes have been made. He's already got one foot in the fucking grave. I hold Bray Wyatt and The Fiend at no value anymore like I did a year ago. It's over. But WWE is WWE. They don't know how to treat a good thing. They don't know when they have a good thing, when they have it, and they refuse to listen to the fans. Bray Wyatt is going to be the WWE Universal Champion at the end of the next pay-per-view on June 14th, which is Backlash. He's going to be The Fiend, and The Fiend is going to beat Braun Strowman. So he's not buried. He's already halfway there, but this is nothing more than a bridge to the next match, folks. I would not get your underwear in a bunch. I would not cry yourself to sleep tonight. Seriously, it's not the end of the fucking world. Braun Strowman retains the Universal Championship. He's literally got another month with that title, which would make him a transitional champion, and we can all rest easy when Braun Strowman is no longer in the title picture on SmackDown with everybody else and everything that's going on that show. We've seen the mysterious hooded hacker. He showed up and said he is everywhere and sees everyone. There were rumors that the hacker was going to reveal some new information. He was going to give us the next tease in what he's got cooking up on SmackDown. And this was nothing of note whatsoever. This was pretty much the same shit that we've been seeing, except he again reiterated to us, and he expanded that his eyes and ears are everywhere. He knows the truth and no one is safe. They showed him behind, looking at his video wall screens, featuring every WWE wrestler talking on camera, whether they were on the bump, whether they were on WWE Backstage, an interview. They had a bunch of TV screens with everybody else, Daniel Bryan, Carmella, Dana Brooke, The New Day, Shayna Baszler, no matter who's Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, everybody was on there. Everybody was on there. And the phrase, "the truth will be heard," showed up on the screen. Again, I talked about this on the preview and predictions. There were rumors that he was going to be here tonight. Everybody's saying CM Punk. It's not CM Punk. Give me a fucking break. If you think it's CM Punk, you might as well just remove yourself from the fucking chat room right now. It's not CM Punk. It is not Xavier Woods, though it could be a small percentage could be Xavier Woods, but I don't see that being Xavier Woods. I do think it's Ali. And the reason why I think it's Ali, maybe with Gable, because Gable's been off TV just as long as Ali has been. But Ali has been off SmackDown for a number of months now. And if Ali is revealed as the hacker, and we've been seeing these teases about a possible breakup of a tag team on SmackDown, I could absolutely see Ali being the guy, because if you want to go back to before WrestleMania last year, Ali was supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber. Ali was supposed to be, according to rumors, one of the major proponents in the WWE Championship picture with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, because Bryan had specifically requested to work with him. But he got hurt. Ali got hurt. Randy Orton busted his eye. So he broke an orbital bone, and that was it. And Kofi Kingston obviously took the ball and ran with it, and WWE had no choice. Their original plans were ruined. Everybody was into Kofi, right? Because everybody loved Kofi, and WWE said, you know what? We got to make good storyline here. We got a feel-good storyline here. Let's do it. Let's do it. But Ali never really got revenge. Never really got another opportunity for that. What if it's Ali coming back to really uncover the truth about what happened with the New Day, and the truth shall be heard? It kind of fits into what had happened with Ali. So we'll see what happens. And I'm glad that if it is Ali, I'm glad that they're giving him a gimmick. I'm glad that they're giving him character and charisma, because he was great. I love Ali. I think Ali is fantastic. But, what makes him stand apart? What makes him a standout compared to everybody else that could do exactly what he does? He needed a character. And I hope this is WWE really investing in him and really giving him a character. And hopefully he owns it. Hopefully he makes this really worthwhile on SmackDown. The little teases that we got, it's been some of the most intriguing stuff on SmackDown, and that has been very difficult to find on Friday nights. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship Before we get into that, let me check the chat room here. We got 2,500 viewers, man. Thank you guys for spending your time with me, man. I know Cronin is live. I know Salamonster is live right now. I know a ton of other people are probably live right now, but you have opted to stay with me. Why? I don't know. Maybe you enjoy me being an asshole. I don't know. But I'm glad you guys are here. We are at 2,500 plus with 1.3 likes, man. If everybody in this chat room is watching me right now, let's get that 1.3 to about 1.8. Come on, let's do it. Let's get as close to 2,000, man. This is what we have right here. No other community, no other podcast in the community has the fans like Off the Script does. I know you guys can do it. Let's do 2,000 likes before we end this stream. Let's do it. But I want to shout out my sponsor tonight, Blue Chew. Blue Chew has been a great friend of the podcast, and shout out to my boy Justin LeBar and Glenn Rubenstein over at Wrestling Inc., the two guys that I actually enjoy over there. Guys, do you remember the days where you were always ready to go? Now, I know Monday and Friday, you're never ready to go because those shows are absolutely god-awful. Nia Jax is always ready to go when she walks into catering. But were you guys, remember a time back in the day when you were always ready to go? It might not be like that anymore, especially in quarantine. You guys are depressed. You got no motivation. I can now get you away so that you guys can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed, and that's BlueChew.com. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You guys can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill. So you guys can be ready when the opportunity arises. And Otis and Asuka were the two tonight that rose to the occasion. You can benefit, not together. He's got Mandy. What does he need Asuka for? You can benefit from more confidence where it counts. Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you guys don't need to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a very discreet package. They're made in the USA, and Blue Chew prepares and ships direct. They're cheaper than a pharmacy. Best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Right now, special deal for everybody listening to the Money in the Bank review right here on Off the Script. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use promo code JD. All you guys have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. BlueChew.com, code JD. It is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Money in the Bank review right here on Off the Script. So thank you to them. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Loving me some Drew McIntyre right now. It is so refreshing. You know, I was the first one to say that with Drew McIntyre becoming the WWE Champion, it was going to be up to WWE to really make it feel special, to correct the mistakes that they did with Seth Rollins and all other babyface champions before. It was in the fallout. It was in the aftermath. It was in the booking of his title reign where it's going to be a success or failure. And right now, I got to give WWE credit. It's been so far so good. For now. Obviously, until we get Jinder Mahal, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath on this lasting for too long. Seriously. We're going to get Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, folks. And it's going to be an absolute nightmare. An absolute fucking nightmare. Seth Rollins, you know, no matter how good he is, he clearly didn't deserve this championship match. He was only in this because Kevin Owens, who legitimately should have been in the title match, he beat Rollins at WrestleMania. He was home. He hurt his ankle, sprained his ankle, jumping off the WrestleMania logo at WrestleMania, diving through a table with Rollins on it at WrestleMania. And WWE had legitimately no major heels on Raw to battle Drew McIntyre. A, it didn't make sense. B, we seen this match time and time again a couple years ago. So the more we seen it, I knew eventually these guys were going to battle for the WWE Championship. It was going to be something a little bit more important that they were fighting over. All of those times, this is where their history, this is where WWE's history comes back and bites them in the ass. This match happened so many times over Monday Night Raw a couple years back that it kind of makes this one feel a little bit unimportant. I love the story. I thought Rollins playing up his Messiah gimmick and, him telling McIntyre he's got the burden of the WWE Championship. You don't want that. Let me carry your burden, right? It was Rollins being a dick. It was Rollins coming off as a way to try to help Drew McIntyre, but we all know what he really wanted. He wanted the WWE Championship. He really didn't give a shit about helping Drew McIntyre. And Rollins is suffering right now. I think he's done some of his best work in the last year, in the last couple of weeks, even before WrestleMania with some of the promos he cut on Kevin Owens. But Rollins is suffering right now. The gimmick is suffering. The gimmick is stale to a lot of people right now because we're in this uncertainty. We got no fans in the arena. He's got no fans to really feed off of. We don't know the reaction that he's legitimately getting or what the fans would legitimately be giving him if there were fans in attendance. Nobody knows. He's got no group. AOP's hurt. Buddy Murphy wasn't there tonight, which I thought he was going to be, but he wasn't there. So who does Rollins have? He's got nobody. Rollins just exists. He's got this cool leather jacket. He's got his man bun. He's got his glove. But what else does he have? He's got a great gimmick, but the gimmick isn't working in the current setting. And Rollins, he was put in this situation to pretty much be fed to Drew McIntyre. Do you mind that? Or do you have a problem with that? Or do you don't have let me rephrase it. Do you mind that or do you not mind that? I don't mind it. Because, A, it enhances Drew McIntyre's title run. It gives him a big win over Seth Rollins. But what does it do to Seth Rollins? You pretty much put him in that position because he was the only heel on Monday Night Raw. And I don't like that. So they pretty much sacrificed him. They used the Messiah and sacrificed the Messiah. That's all they did here. This was a great match. This was very nicely paced. This was a real just down to it, just classic championship match between challenger and champion. You can't ask for more. This is what we should see every fucking pay-per-view. We don't get it, but we should. This was just a great championship match, clean, no bullshit between two great wrestlers. There was one winner, there was one loser, and it was clean. That was it. I appreciate that. Rollins had the early advantage. McIntyre picked up the pace and sent Rollins to the floor. McIntyre was firmly in control until Rollins went for the knee. So that was the story of the match. McIntyre's knee. Rollins followed up with a suicide dive to the floor. Rollins then hit a sling blade for the first near fall of the match. Rollins applied a single-legged Boston Crab and transitioned into the STF. Rollins then moved into a crossface, but McIntyre made it to the ropes to break the hold. Rollins hit another... First of all, Rollins has a terrible suicide dive. He shouldn't even be doing the suicide dive if it's going to be that weak. I would take it out of his arsenal completely. Honestly, it's awful. Rollins hit another suicide dive and followed up with a knee off the ring apron. He then hit a springboard knee off the barricade. Rollins cleared the announce table and hit a third knee, jumped off the announce table, and hit a third knee on Drew McIntyre. Rollins attempted a third suicide dive, as if the first two weren't fucking terrible enough. McIntyre caught him and launched him over the announce table. McIntyre recovered and made a big comeback here. This is when the match really picked up. This is when I really started to get into it. McIntyre rocked Seth Rollins with a big boot. Came off the top rope with a double axe handle. McIntyre went for the Claymore, but Rollins rolled underneath the bottom rope. Rollins fought back. McIntyre hit a spine buster for a near fall. McIntyre went for the Future Shock DDT, but Rollins fought free. Rollins attempted a pin, but only got a 1 count. Rollins then hit a frog splash, which looked great, for a 1 count, which shocked Rollins. So McIntyre's got that adrenaline flowing now. 1 count kick out. Rollins teased, bringing in a chair. He was contemplating. The referee was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Put the chair down. Throw it away." Referee's got to be a little bit more blunt with him. "Hey, asshole, You bring the chair in, you use it, you're not going to win the WWE Championship. Put the chair down. What are you doing? Put the chair down. Make me a referee. I'd be like, hey, yo, pussy, put the chair down. You're not going to win the fucking title there, you fucking geek. I'm waiting for the referee to tell him, yeah, you want to win the fucking title? Put the chair down. Referee's got to do a better job there, man. So he teased him bringing in the chair. He changed his mind. Rollins went for the curb stomp. McIntyre hit his Glasgow kiss. McIntyre climbed to the top. Rollins cut him off. He crotched him on the top rope. Rollins hit a superplex and then a very impressive Falcon's Arrow. Rollins is one strong motherfucker, man. For him to hit a superplex on Drew McIntyre, who's 6'6", 250 pounds, or someone somewhere like that, right? Superplex into the Falcon's Arrow for a very close near fall. Unbelievable strength there by Seth Rollins. Really nice spot. Rollins attempted the stomp. McIntyre caught him with a future shock DDT for a near fall. McIntyre and Rollins fought off the top turnbuckle. McIntyre tossed Rollins across the ring. Now, this was another great spot in the match. They were on the top turnbuckle, and McIntyre was caught in a tree of woe. So he tried to lift himself up. He tried to sit himself up in the tree of woe, grabbed Rollins by the waist and launched him. Clearly, Rollins assisted in the launching. He launched him about 80% across the ring. Really, really nice spot there by Drew McIntyre. So McIntyre attempted the Claymore. He did the 3, 2, 1. Rollins hit a super kick and a stomp, and I swear to God, guys, I thought that was it. I thought that Rollins was going to win the championship. That was a very believable near fall off of the stomp. Again, McIntyre kicks out. So both men are up. Finish came when McIntyre hit another Glasgow kiss. Rollins bounced off the ropes. He hit a super kick, but McIntyre bounced off the ropes after the super kick and delivered a Claymore kick. It's like he had a finisher in WWE 2K lined up, and the second player didn't even know. And that was it. Claymore kick, and Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship. After the match was over, Drew waited for Seth to stand, offered his hand as a show of respect, offered a handshake when Seth stood up. Seth actually shook Drew McIntyre's hand. And Byron Saxton then said that says a lot about the character and the man that is Drew McIntyre, that he would shake Seth Rollins' hand like that after the match. Phillips said that's why Drew McIntyre is the leader of Monday Night Raw. Telling you, man, McIntyre is great. I'm so happy. You know, I feel so terrible for him that he's got his entire reign may be in an empty arena. But he's fucking killing it. He really is. You got to be happy for Drew McIntyre, man. He's doing some great fucking work. This may be some of the best work of his career, Drew McIntyre. Rollins, man, when all is said and done and we finally start getting things back to normal, hopefully, and fans start to get into these arenas and we got some life to these shows, I think Seth Rollins, at the end of the day, may be the one guy in the WWE roster that has had the best empty arena matches. His match with Kevin Owens was fucking great. This match with Drew McIntyre was fucking great. A little bit boring in the beginning, a little slow, but it picked up the pace and it ended up being a great WWE Championship match. It was very simple. It's one of those things that had a great makeup of what a real championship match should be. A strong champion, a somewhat strong challenger. Seth Rollins, no matter where he stands on the Monday Night Raw roster right now, he's always a credible threat. Great wrestler. Clean win. No bullshit. No fuck finish. And it was 20 minutes. 20 minutes of just what a great championship match should be. Honestly. I loved it. Drew McIntyre wins, and we have a nightmare waiting for us, folks. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal may be the next thing that is started on Monday Night Raw. Seriously. Get your bleach out. Pour it on the rocks. Make it a triple. Monday Night Raw is going to be ruined like SmackDown Live in 2017 was, where Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre are fighting over the WWE Championship. This is going to be a long summer. Charlie Caruso approached R-Truth backstage. Truth winced and said Lashley is a tough opponent. Truth says he doesn't want to be lonely anymore. He wants his baby back as he admired a picture of himself holding up the 24/7 7-Eleven, a stale hot dog, 5 days old with spicy mustard and a Mountain Dew Slurpee title. He said he's going to sack Tom Brady and become the 24/7 champion. Charlie Caruso said, Tom Brady, I think he means Rob Gronkowski. Great. So the 24/7 title is still not dead, folks. Still not dead. I don't understand the company and this 24/7 title. Burn it. Burn it. It's still cold outside. Somewhere, someone needs heat. Burn it. Sure, the leather would make a fine fuel for the fire. We got the Money in the Bank ladder matches, folks. The dual Money in the Bank ladder matches, the main event of the evening. I was actually surprised that this match, in the rumors, in the news, I was surprised that when the show had started, we didn't get what was rumored. Now, the rumors said that the match was going to be cut up and put into the show. I'm actually glad they did not do that. I didn't want to watch a match and then have my attention taken out of the ladder match and then back to the ladder match, back to the PC, back to Stamford, Connecticut, back to the PC again, and then let's conclude with the ladder match. I'm glad they didn't do that. I really am glad that they didn't go that route. I'm glad that they dedicated a 30-minute block of the pay-per-view to show you the match in its entirety, to show you all its silliness. It just came off in a better way. Was it cinematic? Somewhat. They didn't go full cinematic with it. They didn't go Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa cinematic. They didn't go Boneyard match cinematic, but it was filmed inside Titan Tower, and there was absolutely no Michael Cole, no Corey Graves, no Byron Saxton, no Tom Phillips, no commentary whatsoever. None. Which was an absolute treat. I'm so happy I didn't have to hear that commentary team over this match. It made the match that much more enjoyable. They aired the ring inductions by 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we got this match. I'm like, holy shit, we might have had here a pay-per-view that ends before 9:45. I'm like, yes, this is great. This is great. So we got the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match of all time. And the risk is worth the reward. Which at some point I counted up to 10 times they said that one line in the first 2 hours of the show, and then I just stopped counting because I was just so sick of fucking hearing it. So we got the women starting the match in the front lobby. Right where you walk into Titan Tower, the women are starting right there in the front main lobby. They were all introduced. They were all doing their in-ring poses, which looked a little cheesy. I don't understand why they were doing all of this. Theme music was playing for everyone. They were doing their poses. They all lined up in auditorium-like fashion. It looked silly. But the men, they all congregated in the gym. So the gym was where the men started, and then the ladies started in the main hall. The men, obviously, they had their theme music playing, and they didn't do any of their poses. Otis didn't do his pose. Baron Corbin came out with his fucking cape and his scepter and his crown. Aleister Black came out. But they were all talking trash to one another. So they didn't pose or do anything cheesy or anything like that. They all just talked trash to one another while the women were out there posing, and Carmella was doing her moonwalk, and, Shayna Baszler was doing her fucking thing, right? So Asuka was introduced last. Asuka didn't show up. Her music was playing. The women were looking around. Where's Asuka? Where's Asuka? Is she even showing up? Asuka was on the second floor balcony, hanging above the elevators. She jumped from the balcony and leapt, wiping out all of the women standing below. Asuka laughed, jumped into the elevator. All of the ladies there who were on the floor crawled to try and get to the elevator before the doors closed. She danced, and then the elevator took Asuka to where she needed to go. She was ascending Titan Tower. So the men, we switched to the men. They were fighting in the gym area. Corbin tried to hit Daniel Bryan with a plate that goes on the weights, right? So he picks up this weighted plate. He throws it, and Bryan obviously moves, and he breaks one of the mirrors in Vince McMahon's company gym. Now, we've seen something similar to this inside the PC. WWE likes to break mirrors. That's 7 years bad luck. So you take the one from the PC, which Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano broke, and then you take this one. That's 14 years bad luck for WWE. So that means, folks, we got 14 more years of Vince McMahon in charge of WWE. I don't think WWE realizes that you break a mirror at 7 years bad luck. I believe in that shit, bro. I believe in it. Believe me. So Corbin destroyed the mirror, and he stood there all shocked. He's like, oh, shit. This is coming out of my paycheck. Otis then placed the heavy barbell, which the weight went to. He picked up this barbell and placed it on AJ Styles' chest and trapped him as he was on the floor. Styles was asking for help. Rey Mysterio walked by. He asked Rey Mysterio for help. Rey's not going to lift this thing up, so Rey said, fuck you. He went on and wanted to ascend the Titan Tower staircase. So the men in the gym ran off, and we had AJ Styles left alone in the gym of Titan Tower. They're all running. They're all running after one another. And they go into the bathroom. Rey Mysterio ends up in the bathroom. And out of one of the bathroom stalls comes Brother Love. Seriously, Bruce Pritchard wearing a white suit, a red dress shirt. His makeup was fucked up. He comes out of the bathroom stall and says to Rey Mysterio, I love you, in the bathroom stall. I'm like, there he is. There he is. We don't got Ali. We don't got Tucker Knight. But here he is on Money in the Bank coming out of the stall. God knows what the fuck he was doing in there. And that was it. So Bruce Pritchard. I just started doing the I Love You on the podcast, and now here we are with fucking Bruce Pritchard reprising the role of Brother Love on Money in the Bank. So the men moved from the bathroom into the hallway. Bryan, Otis, Black, and Corbin all ran into the same elevator. They continued to fight. The women then chased each other up the stairs because they couldn't take the which is unbelievable to me. There was 2 other fucking elevators, and none of these women realized, well, maybe we should take the elevator. We could fight in the elevator. Let's not take the stairs. Like Asuka is in the only elevator in Titan Tower. I don't understand it. So the women opted to take the staircase. The women tried to get on the elevator, but the men got, I guess there was only 2 elevators. I guess that's what they get. The men were in the elevator and they couldn't take the elevator, so that's that. Whatever. There's got to be more than 2 elevators in Titan Tower. Everyone was brawling. Asuka and Black sneaked off. So they were like, you guys can stay and fight here and take each other out. You know, they all weaseled themselves. Asuka and Aleister Black weaseled themselves out of this chaos. So Bryan was doing the yes kicks to Baron Corbin in what looked to be one of the hallways in Titan Tower. Now, there's a big WWE fence with a logo, and there's ring ropes on this floor. Corbin was wrapped in the ring ropes. Bryan was giving him the yes kicks. And then Otis was standing there doing the yes chant, which I found to be funny. And he then gave the yes kicks to Otis. So Bryan took out Corbin and Otis. And then all of a sudden, I don't know why this was in here, because it's not really funny to me, but someone was hiding behind a chair while all this chaos was happening. And he had a Doink the Clown wig, face painted himself like Doink the Clown. Now, clearly that wasn't Doink the Clown. That wasn't any of the versions of Doink the Clown that I remember. Don't know why this guy, this random guy who we know is not Doink the Clown, was dressed as Doink the Clown. I mean, that was a little cheesy. I didn't like that. I didn't get that whatsoever. I didn't find that funny at all. So Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, and Carmella fought into a conference room. Brooke wiped out Jax with a steel chair and noticed that there was a briefcase hanging on the ceiling of the conference room. Now, this was a clear briefcase with the Money in the Bank logo with what looked to be real fucking money in the briefcase. She climbed on top of the table and pulled the briefcase down, and she thought she won the match. So Dana Brooke was the Money in the Bank ladder match bimbo. That's what she was. She was treated like a complete fucking clown. She thought she won. Stephanie McMahon showed up and told her that the Money in the Bank briefcase is on the roof. This is just the Money in the Bank conference room. What are you doing? And will you please clean up the mess that you made? Nia Jax is drooling on my conference room rug because she was knocked out by Dana Brooke with a steel chair. So Carmella came back to life here and hit Brooke with a picture of Carmella winning Money in the Bank. A big picture frame of herself winning Money in the Bank. She did one of them cartoon skits where she takes the painting or the portrait and just slams it over Dana Brooke's head, and Dana Brooke is wearing this fucking portrait. So Carmella moonwalked out of the room. Lacey Evans was waiting in the hallway as Carmella was around the corner. She walked right into a loser's right. So that was that. Styles picked up with him. Styles was looking for Mysterio in the hallway. This was great. This was great. Styles was searching for Mysterio because Mysterio did not help him with the weight issue in the gym. So instead, he saw a picture of The Undertaker. He walked by a picture of Roman Reigns before that, so I guess WWE did not edit. This was one of the good days where WWE didn't edit out Roman Reigns. It was a big WrestleMania New Orleans portrait of Roman Reigns doing his entrance, so they didn't edit that out. So Styles is looking for Mysterio. He saw a picture of The Undertaker. It scared him. He walked into a room, then he was trying to open up all these doors that were all locked, but the one door that was open, he opened up, and it was a casket. A room that was illuminated in purple light. It had a casket in it. Undertaker's music started playing. He was having flashbacks of the Boneyard match. Aleister Black then showed up and kicked Styles in the face. He kicked Styles into the room, and Black locked the door and ran off, leaving AJ in the room with all of the casket and the Undertaker's urn and all that shit. So I found that to be incredibly funny, and I thought that was great. So we got AJ Styles locked in the room. Paul Heyman, in the next scene, was eating Titus Catering. You name it, it was there. Some good cold cuts, it was there. Looked like there was some prosciutto. Looked like there was some salami and some pepperoni. Beautiful looking pasta salad. Holy shit, I gotta get Titus's recipe for the pasta salad. Unbelievable stuff there, man. Sandwiches and hoagies, you name it. A nice fruit salad, pies. This guy went all out, man. Spared no expense for Titus Catering. Paul Heyman was there enjoying a feast by himself. He was sitting down, and then the men and the women got to this catering floor, got to the food floor, the cafeteria floor, and it was like a showdown. The men came, the women came, they had a face-off. Otis then yelled, "Food fight." And this brought me back to the July 4th episode all those years ago where WWE had their July 4th episode, and Kevin Owens was there, I believe, and he started this big food fight. It was just nauseating, man. Holy shit. One of the worst episodes of Monday Night Raw I've ever seen. So Otis yelled "food fight," and they all started throwing food at each other. Otis threw food at Heyman to start the fight. Baszler locked in the Kirifuda clutch on Rey Mysterio, and then Nia Jax and Otis sandwiched Rey Mysterio. Holy shit. Can you imagine being inside a sandwich of Nia Jax and Otis? Holy shit. Jax and Otis sandwiched Mysterio. It ended up with Otis and Jax being the last one standing. Otis was eating a sandwich in front of Nia Jax. Now, this was a great strategy. He wanted to make Nia Jax jealous. He wanted to slow Nia Jax down because he wanted one of the other women to win it. He didn't want Nia Jax to win it. So he was eating this sandwich in front of Nia Jax. She looked at him like she was hungry. She looked at him like he was crazy. I don't know what was going through their heads, but all I was thinking was, listen, Nia Jax was probably thinking, bro, you don't have enough mustard on that sandwich. Please, go and dip it in the mustard off of Paul Heyman's forehead. That's all I was thinking about. So, we got Otis still hungry. Nia Jax went to the roof. She wanted no part of this. So, Otis went into the cafeteria. He went into the legit cafeteria. There was pies all lined up. Whoever did the whipped cream job on the pies fucked up. Did not look nice at all. Looked like it was melted whipped cream. I'm like, bro, come on. This is not a Titus pie. So, John Laurinaitis, people power, people power, people power, showed up. People power showed up in a scooter. Or one of them wheelchairs, those motorized wheelchairs. And Otis took a pie and smashed him in the face with it. So, Otis smashed John Laurinaitis in the face with a pie, and that was it. That was it. Pies go to waste. So the women were battling up to the roof. They ran up the stairs. Black and Bryan were now fighting in the hallway. Styles showed up. Bryan and Styles fought into an office, and they didn't know where they were. So they were in this office. Chairs were being knocked over, and they were fighting in front of this big table. In the back, Vince McMahon stands up. He's wearing a blazer with a button-down dress shirt, no tie, and he's in jeans. I swear on my grandfather's fucking tomb, this guy looked like the Grim Reaper. If death was a human being, Vince McMahon played death on Money in the Bank Sunday. He looked fucking terrible. It looked like he hadn't slept in about 6 weeks. Now, I don't know what's going on. Clearly, the guy is stressed out beyond belief. But man, oh man, that might have been towards the tail end of this taping. He looked like he was completely just blitzed out of his mind. He looked ragged. He looked rough. I don't know what was going on there, but this was a great segment, though. We got Styles and Bryan fighting into Vince McMahon's office. Vince McMahon turns around in the chair. He's got his back turned while all this was happening. He was writing something on his notepad. McMahon was there. He's probably writing Monday Night Raw for Monday, which we all know sucks. McMahon told them, when he turned around, to leave. He leaves, or he tells them to leave the office. Bryan and Styles were like, oh, we didn't mean to, boss. We didn't mean to. So he told them to leave. Bryan and Styles apologized, and AJ asked Bryan to help him fix the chairs that they knocked down in Vince McMahon's office. So they tidied up the office before they left. We got a nice glimpse of Vince McMahon's dinosaur head, that T-Rex sculpture on Vince McMahon's wall, which looks fucking awesome, by the way. Apparently, Triple H bought that for him for Father's Day many years ago. He spent over $1 million on it, and it was off the set of one of Triple H's movies that he filmed. It was just a really nice-looking shot. So Bryan and Styles continued in the hallway. They were chatting with one another. Man, you look like a real pussy in there, right? You really look like a sissy in there. He's like, well, and Bryan was like, you told me to fix the fucking chairs. What does that make you look like? So they were like, well, yeah, you were right. Styles was like, yeah, you were right. Maybe I did say that to you. And then they locked the door and they started arguing and then brawling in the hallway again outside of Vince McMahon's office after they left. This was great. So they ended up fighting in one of the other conference rooms. Asuka and Jax were the first ones who got to the roof. Jax cleared the ring, brought in a ladder. She climbed up. Asuka cut her off. Evans tried climbing up, but Asuka pulled her down. Asuka and Evans fought on top of the ladder. Asuka knocked Evans off, and she landed on Nia Jax. Asuka climbed to the top, but Corbin ran up the same ladder on the opposite side. He tried to grab the men's briefcase, but Asuka knocked him off. I didn't understand that at all. He was like, no, don't grab it, don't grab it. I don't know what he was yelling at or why he was yelling at her. She's doing her thing, you do your thing. So Baron Corbin looked like a fucking idiot here. So Asuka eventually knocked him off, and she pulled down the briefcase to win the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. Shayna Baszler factored into nothing on the roof. Absolutely nothing. Dana Brooke factored into nothing after all WWE did to hype her up. And Carmella wasn't even on the roof. So 3 women. All of the 3 that WWE have a lot of stock in is on the roof. You got Nia Jax, you got Lacey Evans, and you got Asuka. And I didn't understand why Shayna Baszler was not a part of the mix on the roof. And Asuka won. We'll talk about that in a second. So the match then turned into a basic ladder match at this point. Mysterio and Black were fighting on top of the ladder. And that's when Styles came in and knocked them over. Corbin grabbed Mysterio, threw Mysterio off the side of the building. We didn't get anything. No cutaway, no fancy shot, no cinematic shot. He just took Rey Mysterio and threw him off the fucking building. You heard a thud down below. There had to be another level of the headquarters down below. He did the same thing with Aleister Black. He took Aleister Black and threw Aleister Black off the building. So theoretically, When they say someone was going off the building, someone did go off the building. I don't know where they landed, but I would be very curious to know. We couldn't really see what was going on. It was dark. WWE had these beautiful aerial shots of the match, and we couldn't see anything. So when they did the aerial shots, I did my best to kind of zone in on where they might have fallen. Couldn't tell anything. At this point, it was dark in the taping. So with Black and Mysterio off the roof, we got Otis, we got Styles, and we got Baron Corbin. And that's it. Daniel Bryan was there as well. Styles hit the phenomenal forearm on Otis. Styles and Corbin fought on top of the ladder. They both got their hands on the briefcase, pulled it down, and they pulled it off the hook. So they're now jointly grabbed the briefcase. They both have control of the briefcase, which is off the hook at this point. Elias came in and smashed the guitar over Corbin's back, which made AJ Styles fumble the briefcase, and it fell into the hands of Otis, and Otis wins the Money in the Bank ladder match, and they showed a graphic of Otis and Asuka at the end of it winning the match, and that was the way the Money in the Bank pay-per-view went off the air. Cole said it was quite the night. He recapped the two winners, and that was pretty much the way the show went off the air. Corbin was close. I thought they were going to give it to Corbin after he threw Mysterio and Aleister Black off the roof, but that wasn't the case. Like I said, Corbin and Styles, were there with the briefcase in hand. It slipped out of AJ Styles' hands and into the arms of Otis. Otis was announced the winner, and he stood up and celebrated, and that was the way the pay-per-view went off the air, man. I don't really get it. I don't really understand why WWE went with Otis. I get all the rumors and the news that Vince McMahon is incredibly high on Otis. I get it. Vince McMahon is now directly responsible for the Otis, Mandy, Sonya, and Dolph Ziggler storyline, which fears me. It scares the shit out of me because it's going to go right down the fucking toilet eventually. But Otis winning Money in the Bank. I know you guys, he said, hey, Mandy, I did it. Hey, Mandy, I did it. But how many of you guys are in shock over Otis winning Money in the Bank? I'm still in shock now that I talk about it. It's one of those things that I don't think was necessary. I'm going to go out there and flat out say that AJ Styles was robbed. I really do think AJ Styles was robbed. It would have been a great story for AJ, buried by The Undertaker, to climb out and rise from the depths all the way up to the top of WWE Titan Tower and win the Money in the Bank briefcase. It was pretty much a story that could have sold itself. But WWE apparently is high on Otis. Listen, I love Otis. I think Otis is great. Otis has been one of the guys on SmackDown that I think I have genuinely emotionally connected with. I genuinely want to see him do good. But I don't think Otis is ready for this type of role. I don't think Otis is ready for the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's not ready to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's not ready to be a Universal Champion or a World Champion in general. I don't see that. I'm already putting him on the list of failed Money in the Bank cash-ins. That's what I'm doing. Now, I'm looking at this. I don't even think he gets to cash in the Money in the Bank. I honestly think WWE wants to continue pushing Otis in this good luck storyline. He's got Mandy. He beat Dolph. Right? He's got the girl. He got the kiss. He's beaten the dick in Dolph Ziggler. Now he's got the briefcase. Eventually, something's going to have to go wrong. His good luck cannot continue like this all this time. I don't even think he gets to the point where he cashes in and fails. I think AJ is going to have an issue with this. AJ is going to take out Corbin or Elias or Otis. He's going to go after somebody and blame somebody. He's eventually going to land on Otis. AJ had the briefcase. AJ's going to feel like he was robbed. I think Otis doesn't get to cash in. I think he loses the briefcase and it goes back to either Corbin or Styles. That's what I think happens. Because I can't see Otis winning Money in the Bank. I can't. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to let it settle in. I'm happy for him, but I don't think he's ready. I can be happy for somebody, but also at the same time, I can say to myself and say to you guys, I don't think he's ready. Doesn't make sense. WWE went with a fan favorite. WWE went with a babyface. WWE went with somebody that Vince McMahon is incredibly high on. But that always doesn't make sense. I would have rather them go with logic instead of giving somebody we all know is not right, not ready, and not in the position to be a world champion. You haven't done anything for me or anything for the audience to do for Otis. Make him into a world champion. You pushed him to this point way too quickly. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a little bit more than a month ago, this guy was in a fucking tag team in Heavy Machinery. Now we're looking at him as the number one contender for the WWE Universal Championship? I can't buy into that. I love Otis very much, but I can't buy into it, right? I love the Braves. I love the Atlanta Braves every year. Can't buy into them as being a world championship team. I can't. I want to, but I can't. Now, Asuka wins Money in the Bank. This is something that I don't really mind. What I feel sorry about is how Shayna Baszler came up to the main roster and everyone thought she was going to have the Raw brand wrapped around her finger. Came up, bit Becky Lynch in the back of the neck, got the superstar treatment, was the last one there in the Royal Rumble. She should have won the Royal Rumble. From what I know, Charlotte didn't want to get eliminated by Shayna Baszler in the Royal Rumble. And it's one of those things where I'm looking at it and I'm like, where did all this go wrong? Is Vince McMahon that out of favor with Shayna Baszler? I mean, holy shit. You go from being up here to being down here in record time. Man, this is EC3-like levels. Buried at WrestleMania and absolutely fucking buried. Absolutely no coming back from what happened tonight. She wasn't even on the roof. She did not make the roof. If that doesn't speak to you as symbolism for what they think of Shayna Baszler, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. She did not even get to the fucking rooftop. Buried. You might as well just send her back to NXT. It was either Shayna or bust. Shayna did not win that Money in the Bank briefcase. She has no place on Monday Night Raw. None. I'm not even going to say, one more time, let's give it another chance. 3 strikes and you're out. The first one was Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. That was strike 1 and strike 2. This is strike 3. Shayna Baszler needs to go back down to NXT because clearly Vince McMahon wants nothing to do with her on the main roster. And send her back to NXT. I'm sure Vince can pick somebody else from NXT to use them a little bit more properly on the main roster. Shayna doesn't deserve this. She doesn't. And I know you guys agree with me in that when I talk about Shayna Baszler. Now, Asuka winning the Money in the Bank. Great. I'm not going to complain about this. I'm complaining about the usage of Shayna Baszler. I'm not complaining about Asuka winning the Money in the Bank. I'm actually happy for Asuka winning the Money in the Bank. This is a long time coming. It really is. And it makes sense. Shayna would have made sense, but Asuka also makes sense as well. As long as it's not Nia Jax. Asuka cashing in on Becky Lynch, I could get behind that. Asuka beating Becky Lynch and getting her win back, I could get behind that. Asuka being the Raw Women's Champion and being the face of the women's division and being that badass, I can get behind that. And it all lines up with the news and rumors that we've heard that Vince McMahon now is incredibly high on Asuka, not because of Asuka and who she is, but because Asuka has proved to Vince that she is ready. She comes to work. She asks no questions. She does what she's got to do. And she was there all through these PC empty arena tapings. Very easy. Came to work and got rewarded for it. Didn't complain, got rewarded for it. And Vince seen that. If that happens to everybody, I wish. But Asuka is the recipient of just coming to work, doing your job. And I even said it a couple weeks ago. You look back at these empty arena shows for the women, you could talk about Asuka being the MVP of the women's division as a whole for the empty arena shows. She has been consistent. She has been there week in and week out and delivered consistency. That's why she got rewarded with the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight. And I really can't sit here and complain about that. Am I shocked that they didn't go with Shayna and rectify their mistake? Yes and no. Am I shocked that Shayna has absolutely bombed on the main roster? Yes. Because they were incredibly high on her. They gave her the world. Survivor Series main event. Number 2 in the Royal Rumble. 8 eliminations in about 2 minutes in the Royal Rumble. Biting Becky Lynch in that visual of blood dripping down her mouth to get a WrestleMania match. The Elimination Chamber and burying the entire women's division in about 10 minutes. The most single eliminations in a chamber match in history is Shayna Baszler. All to lose at WrestleMania and get buried here and not even make the top of the roof on Titan Tower. Send her back down to NXT. Seriously. Send her back down to NXT. That is a complete mishandling of a talent. And they should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And then they wonder why the women's division isn't where it needs to be. When you do shit like that, it is not difficult to kill a fucking division. Seriously. And Shayna is a good hand. Shayna and Asuka could have some great matches. Now, we could still see that, but after tonight, I'm done. I am done with Shayna Baszler. No more Shayna from me. Money in the Bank was a thumbs-up show. And I think at the end of the night, that ladder match proved to be really chaotic, really fun. It was goofy at times, but it all ended up. You wrap it into one big package, one big present. I think it delivered. You know, being that we're living in a day and age now and in 2020 where nothing is going to be normal, you know, I know you guys would have loved the chaos of a ladder match, and I know you guys would have loved the chaos of a regular Money in the Bank match. You got to give WWE credit for going outside the box and thinking outside the box here and giving you something like this. I can only hope that they do the same thing with SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is now moved out of Boston. By that time in August, I hope things are slowly starting to get back to normal. Maybe they do the same thing with SummerSlam. Maybe we get a beach. Maybe we do SummerSlam on a beach down in Florida somewhere. Make it like a Bash at the Beach special. Really make that real party feel come to life. The biggest party of the summer. SummerSlam on a legit private beach somewhere. You know? They did that with Money in the Bank. Climbed the corporate ladder from the ground floor up in Titan Tower. It proved to be a success. You got to give them credit. I think it's a thumbs-up show. McIntyre, Rollins killed it. The Money in the Bank ladder matches were really fun. And outside that, everything else was generic Raw and SmackDown filler. But if I was to give it a thumbs-up show, just based on the premise of the show, the Money in the Bank ladder matches delivered at the end of the night. Guys, let me read through these super chats. We ended up with the Brash 15, Daniel Easter Day, $2 super chat. Glorious Records, $2 Canadian super chat. After burying Shayna, where do they go from here? I don't know, man. I really don't know. NXT is the only way to go. Mary Helen Cook with a £3 super chat. Thank you, Mary Helen. Jacob Donnelly, $5 super chat. Overall fun show. I honestly can't say I'm sold on Otis winning. Nothing against him, just don't see him as a singles guy yet. Bro, I don't even see him as a singles guy ever, to be honest with you. Ricardo, $9.99 super chat. JD, you are the authority on all wrestling commentary analysis. Respect. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Josh, $9.99 super chat. Hopefully you don't say before you get to the super chats, but what would you give this show out of 10? Love the podcast, by the way. If I was to give this show a rating, I would say a 4 out of 10, bro. A 4 out of 10. We got JP5150, $5 super chat. Man, damn, this show is crazy. Only positive to me out of all of this was Shayna Banks. She wishes she was Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks looking even more sexy with that red leather outfit. I agree, bro. JoJo Wrestling, $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I was done with the main event once the Burger King Corbin threw Aleister Black off the roof. I really wanted Aleister Black to win. Really doesn't make sense, bro. Doesn't make sense for a babyface to win it, but that's what I was saying before the show, and then they ended up giving it to a babyface anyway. Vince McMahon threw everyone off with Otis winning the briefcase. Anti, $5 super chat. What's worse, commentators, no crowd, or crowd, no commentators? I would say crowd, no commentators. I think that is what's worse. Actually, no. Commentators are worse with no crowd. I could deal with the no crowd as long as there's no commentators, which was great. The Money in the Bank ladder match was great with no Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips and Michael Cole fucking ruining the entire thing. Bobby Stevens, $5 super chat. Is Ray and Black dead, or will they be at work tomorrow? I think they landed on another platform. I don't think they got thrown off the roof, because then really they should be gone from WWE forever. I felt that there was another platform below that. We heard them hit something on the way down, so we'll see what happens on Monday. Bobby Stevens, thank you again for that. Heel Swerve, $20 super chat. I literally watched 10 minutes of the Money in the Bank match until they started that food fight. This company is an embarrassment. Had to turn it off before I caught Corona. I mean, yeah, it was cheesy, and yeah, it brought me back to the 4th of July food fight back in the day, but the overall match, it did not take away from the overall match to me. But Heel Swerve, thank you for the $20 super chat. Omni Entertainment, $3 super chat. I can't wait for your hard-hitting review. Hopefully it was hard-hitting enough for you, man. I appreciate it. Dr. Glorious, do you think that WWE brought back AJ Styles too soon? No, but they could have brought him back in a little bit more of a, I guess, epic fashion. I mean, he just rose from the dead. So he just shows up on Monday night and nothing. You know? Nothing. This is WWE for you. What do you expect? Steven Vandelli, what's up, bro? 1999 super chat. Let's go. Give JD those likes. At the end of the night, he's a good dude and just loves wrestling. I appreciate that, man. We got That Fly Pigeon, 10 pounds. Thank you, man. At the catering scene, when it started, I thought of you and cried laughing all the way through. Love what you do, JD. And I was reading it and then I got cut off here. Holy shit. What happened here? Where are you? Oh, there you go. Laughing all the way through. Love what you do, JD. Been following you since the streak ended. I was pissed and needed answers. LOL from London. Well, thank you, bro. That Fly Pigeon, 10 pounds. I appreciate it. You know, every time they see food in Titus Catering, yes, I made Titus Catering a thing in the community. Zachary R. Francis, $10. There are a lot of comments regarding people who released, people saying that they'll all go running to Chris Jericho's podcast to complain about the company. Do you agree with those comments? No, and they have every right to complain. Every right to complain. I don't know why people are upset that they all go running to Chris Jericho. They have a gripe, and guys like the Revival have every right to express how they were used, and they were used terribly. We got Tamelli, 91, $9.99. I'm not like most girls. I injure wrestlers I am given. Don't like wrestling. I'm not driven. Not your typical intriguing princess. I'm not like most girls. There you go. Maybe you should write her theme song for her. I love it. $9.99. I appreciate that, man. Cool Jags, $4.99. Glad Jeff is back. Money in the Bank match was fun. Hated that Shayna is now buried. I agree. Michael Carpenter, $2. Yo, JD is Little Flip from Twitch. Great review. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. See you on Twitch this week when I play Final Fantasy again. Immortal Legacy. This is 10 Australian, I believe. The only Messiah who gets me through depression. Big fan here in Australia. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Bobby Rivera, $9.99. Yo, man, love you. But please don't call your audience stupid for having a different opinion like that fool Sean Ross Sapp. First thing I saw with Braun was him winning the tag team titles with a child. I don't really shit on my audience. Every time I'm negative, it's towards the people on social media who legitimately hate me, and Sean Ross Sapp is a cool dude. I think he is okay with me, you know, but when I seen him in, I believe it was Las Vegas, he was very nice to me. So he's a cool dude. And no, I don't shit on my audience. I shit on all the idiots with a stupid opinion, but at that point, it's not even opinion, it's just stupidity. Stephen Field, $9.99. Does WWE do a rematch between Wyatt and Strowman with The Fiend winning the title back and Braun rejoining Bray? I talked about that tonight. And yes, it's going to be The Fiend winning the title. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Daniel Easterday, just wanted to support you a little bit more. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Terry LeBeau, $20. Love you, JD. Wish Melissa Klein a happy birthday. Well, Melissa, happy birthday. Happy birthday, and I hope you're safe. Gregory Benson, $4.99. Carmella and Dana Brooke versus Piss and Cross for the tag team titles. Anyone need a bathroom break? I would much rather use those belts as the toilet paper. Save me some, bro. I'm about to run out. Romy Rome, $5 super chat. Man, Sasha keeps winning, and she doesn't even have to do anything. Just show herself on our TVs. I absolutely agree. though I do think she will be the SmackDown Women's Champion when all is said and done. Thank you, Romy, for the super chat. We got CC Steven, $10 super chat. AJD sending another super chat to support you. In your opinion, what can AEW do, or who can they bring in to take them to the next level? I don't know, man. You know, I do think that Brian Cage is coming in on top of Matt Hardy, and you got Jon Moxley there, obviously. You got Brody Lee in there. I do think that Rusev is coming in. I think that Zack Ryder's coming in. The Revival's coming in. None of these names are going to take them to the next level. It's going to be a collective effort. It's not going to be one person individually. Rey Mysterio's a free agent at the end of the summer. So is Daniel Bryan, so keep an eye out for those. Tessa Blanchard's a free agent as well, so keep an eye on her. But it's going to be a collective effort, man. It's not going to be one person individually to take them to the next level. They're going to be at the next level regardless of what people think as a team. Because AEW is very family-oriented. There's a big family unity backstage. So that's that. Jordan Turner, man, you are a fucking beast. $99.99 super chat. Just for the hell of it, man. This guy donated another $100 earlier on the live stream with the preview and predictions. Dropped another 100 here today, man. Unbelievable stuff. Jordan, you are a fucking beast. And thank you for all your support, man. I really appreciate it, and I hope you and your family are safe during this shitty time we're going through right now. Hope you enjoyed the review as well, brother. Thank you so much. We got Aracia 9, Canadian $5 super chat. Great work, JD. Interesting show. Cole's echoing is terrible. I hate it, man. I hate when you hear the replay and you hear him in the background, man. That's fun. It rattles my fucking bones, bro. It fucking makes my skin crawl. And it really does. Jacob Donnelly, $5 super chat. Now that I think of it, with Otis winning the Money in the Bank, do you think the Hacker will have anything to do with a heavy machinery breakup? Could be, bro. It's a good point there. I could absolutely see that. Maybe Otis or Tucker. You know, maybe Tucker is the one to kind of say, you know what, he's jealous of Otis and whatnot, and that's what led to the breakup or something along those lines. Otis is too good of a guy to really be caught saying shit. Maybe more so Tucker, but, I mean, do you see Otis as a single? Do you see Tucker as a single? I think at the end of the day, they have more value together. That's just me. But that's a good call there, bro. I could absolutely see that being a thing, or one of the Hackers' things moving forward on SmackDown. Chris A., $5 super chat. I appreciate the content, bro. Keep up the amazing content. My Messiah, I will, bro. Thank you so much. Romy Rome with another $5 super chat. I wish they'd give Bray and Fiend one of those Asuka runs from her NXT days. Well, I'll tell you what, man. They should have did that coming out of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and they did not do that. So, Bray Wyatt, like I said, has already got one foot in the fucking grave. He's barely hanging on. And what happens when he wins the title next? He's going to drop it to whomever the top babyface is on SmackDown. So, it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Bray will never have a substantial reign with a major championship because WWE doesn't give a shit. Matt Eagle, $4.99. Our good buddy Bruce was writing future SmackDown scripts while taking a dump. Absolutely. That's where the shows are written. Bruce showed you tonight where the SmackDown shows are written, bro. Holy shit. Now that's going to be a thing on the podcast. Laura Conway, $4.99. Thank you, Laura, for the super chat. Bruce Pritchard, I heard you're my number one fan. I really appreciate it. Canadian, $2 super chat. Bruce, where's Ali and Tucker, Bruce? And why are you coming out of the fucking stall at Money in the Bank? Josh Nelson, $5 super chat. I think Otis is just the flavor of the month. Otis will never be taken seriously as a hillbilly moron that speaks in grunts. There you go. Heard it from Josh. I love him. I just don't believe in him. I don't believe he's the guy. William Sanchez, $5 super chat. If they do AJ versus Otis, will this be a possible way out of the brand split since they're obviously on separate brands? I don't know, man. WWE can do what the fuck they want. They got bleeding ratings right now. I would not be surprised if they have a mini wildcard rule happen in the next few weeks. Ulysses, what's up, bro? $5 super chat. If Vince wants to be on Ronda Rousey's good side and come back, why is she treating her bestie, or why is he treating her bestie like an utter low-level bum? JD, can I ask you a question outside WWE? I guess you can. You should have asked me in that super chat, but why is he treating Shayna Baszler like a low-level bum? I'll tell you why, bro. She's not blonde. She doesn't have big tits. She doesn't have a big ass. And she's not blonde. Did I mention that she's not blonde? And that she doesn't have long legs. And big, fake, plastic tits. Redone over and over again. You get the point. Antonio, $2 super chat. WWE India is teasing a Jinder Mahal stable. With who? The guys in NXT? I mean, what the fuck? It's bad enough we gotta get Jinder Mahal in a WWE title match. Now he needs another stable? Can you imagine they align him with the fucking Singh brothers again? Holy shit. Hockey Nerd, $2 super chat. What do you think of Seth Rollins' new theme? I actually like it. I'm glad. I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that tonight. That he came out with a new theme, and I'm glad. The Burn It Down. The Burn It Down is a babyface theme. This is a heel theme. I'm glad they changed it. Good on them. Julian Batley, $2.99. Is Lacey Evans finally going to go away now? No, bro. She's not going to go away. She's going to be there, and you will be tortured with Lacey Evans because she will eventually be the women's champion. Not now, but I could see it happen this year at some point. Joseph King, $2 super chat. AJ Styles was definitely robbed, JD. I agree. We got, let's see, 10 May, $2.99 Australian. I'm your biggest fan. Thank you, bro. Antonio, any word at Hog when it will return? House of Glory, Master P. I have no idea, bro. We're aiming for an August return, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. I wish. I missed commentary. I miss sitting around with the other guys and the women of the House of Glory locker room. I miss it. I miss telling stories and calling action. I can't wait for that to return. CPA, $2 super chat. Now, Asuka must rid us of the Sharbot 2000. Maybe. I don't know. You know, whoever she cashes in on, it's got to be Becky Lynch. The promo on Monday Night Raw said that Becky Lynch is going to confront the Money in the Bank winner. Asuka's on Raw. So I'm assuming Becky Lynch is going to confront Asuka. We'll see what happens. Gabriel, $2 super chat. Loving the review. Keep up the great work. Thank you, bro. George Isaac, $5. JD, what if Bray beats Strowman in the future and he comes home? It's not going to happen. Braun Strowman is a individual wrestler by himself. He's not going back into Bray Wyatt's world. Soundwave. One of my favorite Transformers back in the 80s, man. I think Otis can cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase for the tag team titles with Tucker. No. Why would he cash in for the tag team titles when he's got an opportunity at a Universal title? Or a WWE title, if he wants. Why? That doesn't make any sense. It's for a major title. Major title. Jeremy Boyle, $5 super chat. Love the music during the main. Reminded me of the old SVR games. Ever thought of streaming old playthroughs yourself, bro? I'm on Twitch. Twitch.tv/JD from New York. Spell out New York, man. I'm on there right now playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Loving it. Erwin G, $1.99. Bring Kevin Dunn over here. I see him back there. He's over there. He's sleeping. He's tired. He doesn't want anything to do with this show. He even thought it was terrible. Damn, I'm late to the review, but can't wait to watch it back. Keep up the great work, JD, says Jesse Borster. $10 super chat. Thank you, bro. You got Christopher Elliott, $4.99. What's up, JD? Your podcast is the best. I appreciate it, man. CPA, $5 super chat. Now, all Asuka has to do is rid us of Sharbot, bring prestige back to the NXT Women's Championship, and save the division. Love you, JD. Hashtag Goonslayer. We'll see what happens, man. Becky's going to have a handful with Asuka tomorrow. David Vargas, $1 super chat. Thank you, bro. Vutron. I want to see Kali versus Jinder for the world champion. Take your money back, bro, and get the fuck out of here. And finally, guys, Aaron Benjamin. I would love to see Kevin Dunn at Titan Tower. Kevin Dunn is a fucking clown. I'm surprised we didn't see Kevin Dunn. But he doesn't like being on camera. He's a he's a beaver. And he doesn't want his teeth showing on camera. $2 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Guys, I'm getting out of here, man. Let me hear my theme music. Oh, we got another one. We got another one in here, man. Bobby Means, $2. Just imagine if Disney gets this. Certainly fits into the Disney fucking mantra, dude. Childish. That's that. But thank you for the super chat, Bobby. I appreciate it. Guys. That's right, man. Hit my brother's fucking music. Guys, this was a great review. Thank you all so very much for joining me here for the Money in the Bank analysis and breakdown right here on Off the Script. If you missed the podcast, it'll be uploaded on YouTube in about 30 minutes. It'll process. It is also going on Spotify and iTunes. So if you guys are over there, I would greatly appreciate you guys leave a 5-star rating on iTunes. It always helps out the podcast. I've been uploading a little bit more over there, trying to get my name in the ranks amongst the big dogs over on iTunes and the iTunes wrestling chart. So you guys can go and do that for me. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We're at 1.8 likes. Let's get it to 2,000. You got 2,000 still in here, man. Whoever has not hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. I got to see the thumbs up over 2,000, man. Do it. It's the least you could do. For those that did not super chat with me tonight, do it. I would really appreciate it. Helps out the video immensely. I cannot begin to tell you how it helps out. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button again down below. Make sure you guys support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you missed all the other videos that I've uploaded this week, go check it out. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new week right here on Monday Night Raw. And what am I missing? Blue Chew. BlueChew.com/nothing. Just BlueChew.com with code JD at checkout for your free sample of the Blue Chew, man. Brother love not included with the Blue Chew sample. So make sure you guys go and do that. I am getting out of here, and I'll see you guys right back here on Monday Night Raw. Thank you for all your support on the podcast, and I'll see you right back here on Monday night for the Raw review right here on Off the Script, guys. Love you, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for Raw.